What do you think would have happened if Brock would have started right away?
He would have been a world elite, greatest of all time.
Yeah.
If someone taught Brock Muay Thai and submission moves when he was a kid, and he went into MMA with his kind of physicality, he would have dominated.
Yeah,
he would have dominated.
Yeah. What did you think of John Jones? He's tough. He's bad.
He's a bad man.
Yeah,
John's a bad man.
Yeah,
he's just so good. Yeah. He just knows how to win.
He murdered that kid.
Yeah, just took him down, strangled him quick. Yeah. He's on another level from those guys. You're never going to beat John if you're like sort of a middling guy. It takes like another world champion to put him to the test. And he's beaten so many world champions. I mean, he's beaten everybody.
Yeah.
John, I mean, he's only had one loss in his entire career. That was a bullshit loss. It was a loss where he was destroying someone. He was using a 12-6 elbow, which should be legal anyway. It's just a remnant of the old rules. And that was against Matt Hamill, and he just beat the fuck out of that dude. It wasn't a loss. So no one's ever really beaten John.
Yeah. Think Brock could get in there with him?
That would have been very interesting.
Yeah.
Because Brock was so fucking big, and Brock's wrestling was so good.
Yeah.
And, you know, when that guy shot a power double, it was like getting hit by a bus.
Yeah.
He was so big.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. But Cain Velasquez beat Brock up, you know, a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I think John is at least at that level.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing about Cain was, he would hit you with a volume of striking. Like for a heavyweight, Cain Velasquez he had the craziest gas tank of all time. Cain's cardio was just off the charts.
Yeah, I got to know him pretty well. He came over to us for a while.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's right, he did. Right. Yeah. And he had that kind of weird fake MMA match with Brock.
Yeah.
Over,
in Saudi.
Yeah. Why didn't he stick with pro wrestling? Do you know, Tony, what happened with Cain Velasquez?
He didn't make the progress that they thought he would. He's a real nice guy.
Yeah, they just messed that whole thing up tremendously. It was crazy. They tried to make like a fake actual fight.
Yeah.
And it was just a nightmare. Yeah. And it just didn't.
Yeah, they put on like MMA gloves, right?
Yeah, they tried to make it like this is the guy that beat Brock in the UFC, so he's going to come here and really put a working on him. But Brock's such a freak athlete, like so well-rounded, even though Cain's a great fighter.
Yeah.
It's just you have to have
pop.
You have to be
there.
Yeah, you have to be larger than life.
You have to entertain.
Yes.
And he was more of like just a stoic fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing low leg kicks, which is again like, you know, it's just it ain't flying in the WWE.
Right.
It's boring. In the UFC, it's unbelievable when you hear that crack and it's real.
But you know that Cain does like crazy lucha libre pro wrestling too, where he jumps up in the air and scissors someone's legs and flips over. He can do all that shit too.
Rey Mysterio taught him all that shit.
Oh, that's who taught him.
Yeah, he and Rey are best friends.
He's another guy that fought MMA, didn't he?
I don't think
Ray?
Didn't Ray have an MMA fight? Did he have a fake MMA fight? No?
I don't think so.
No.
Why did I think he did? Oh, I know why. Because there was another guy that had a mask on that fought Crow Cop in Pride. They had a pro wrestler who fought with a mask on. That's why I could confuse with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Who was that guy? Crow Cop fought some dude and head kicked him, and you see the blood trickling out of his mask. Who was that? Oh, Dos Carlos Jr.
Oh, yeah.
So they had an actual real fight for some strange reason. And Crow Cop was one of the absolute scariest kickboxers of all time. And for some reason, this dude agreed to have a fight with him, like an actual fight. So imagine, watch this. Boom. And look, you see the blood just dripping out of his helmet. They're not showing it yet.
That guy's pretty tough, huh?
Oh, my God, he was terrifying. Mirko Crow Cop was a destroyer.
What's he doing now?
Crow Cop still had some fights up until, I think he's retired now, but he had a bunch of kickboxing fights fairly recently. He had some MMA fights fairly recently. I mean, that guy's a real legend.
Yeah, wow.